Hello and welcome, everyone. Today we will explore the reality of the cosmic Christ, not just as a historical figure, but as something much deeper, a living reality that permeates just about everything. These basically invite us to move a little beyond the traditional way we think about Christ and to consider it as a universal principle of light, unity, and transformation. So today we'll look at a few things together. We will start by looking at the different ways we can understand Christ as a human being, as something within us, and as something much larger, a kind of universal field. Then we will explore what this Christic field actually is, a field of light and of universal brotherhood. From there, we will contrast that with our everyday experience, the world of our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. We'll see how this level of experience tends to divide everything into good and bad, right and wrong, and also why it becomes important to go beyond those opposites towards something deeper, a real source of unity. And finally, we'll touch on what it means, not just to understand this, but to actually enter into it and participate in this field of light. So, who is Christ? In the spiritual school, we define them as the universal divine radiation, the light of the world, a light that works within the human being to bring about inner transformation and the unity with the whole. Ordinarily, we often approach Christ from one angle or several angles, historical for one or religious. But the question is much deeper than that. Christ can be understood on multiple levels, not only historical or belief or living reality. Christ can be understood in several different layers. Let us begin by the first point. All the great spiritual beings made an immense sacrifice. Though they were liberated and capable of existing far beyond our comprehension, they chose to enter our world with all its limitation, immersing themselves in matter and linking their consciousness to our human experience. They did this to bring the possibility of liberation into the very fabric of life, a thread of light reaching into our blood, into each of us. We can say that liberation has little meaning unless it is lived, embodied, and felt at the deepest level of our being. This is what all great spiritual figures have done, and what the one we call Christ also fulfilled. This is the essence of universal teaching, a pure and all-encompassing wisdom that is both vast and deeply human. The great ones never avoided the weight of human limitation. Instead, they embraced it, showing that even from within our constraints, it is possible to begin to walk the path and to reach the summit of liberation. We recognize this not as the veneration of an individual or several individuals, but as a deep acknowledgement of the sacrifice made for all humanity. Now, the second dimension, Christ is not only a great spiritual being who entered matter to plant a thread of freedom within human life, but that is only part of the story. Christ is also a living light within us, a divine spark, the seed of a new consciousness already present in every human heart. In fact, it is sown in all that lives. And in this universe, everything lives, even what appears inanimate. Everything carries the divine breath. This spark is the imprint of Christ, the present of freedom placed within every being. We each carry this Christic seed. And as we move through life and begin to see the limits of an ego-centered existence, these seeds begin to awaken. It stirs our awareness and turns us into seekers of a deeper truth, a truer meaning of life. Now, the third aspect of the Christic force is a field of light. But what does that mean, you may ask? It can be understood as a vast living field that surrounds and permeates the whole earth. It arises from the spiritual heart of the planet, the intelligence of the Logos, and expands through all those who have gone beyond egocentric consciousness. Each person who transcends the limit of the self enters and contributes to this field. This is what is often called a universal brotherhood, not an idea, but a living reality formed across time by all who have crossed beyond the illusions of the lower self. Together, they have created a new field of consciousness and now work for those still within the boundaries of egocentric life, like we are. This beyond is not a place, but it's a state of consciousness, one that exists behind the limitation that divide and isolate us. From this field flowed the inspiration that stirred the human heart, the impulse to grow, to awaken, and to transform humanity.